15th century English poet wrote that no man is an island. He argued that all people are connected to God. I am named after my grandmother Rita. My brother is named after our grandfather Martin, and my father is named after his grandfather Tom. We are all connected across generations. We belong to a family and a community. Growing up, I lived on the smallest of the Aran Islands in Ireland. This small island was my home, and I knew nothing else. There's a population of about 300 people, and those people were my community. My dad owns a pub on the island, and as you can imagine in Ireland, the pub is where everyone gathers. So almost everyone on the island knew who I was and supported me. Anytime I had something to sell or a learning challenge I was meant to be doing, they supported me. Life was different out there on the island. I had just 3 other students in my class in school, so we were all special. We were all the cool kids. If you needed to buy some clothes, you had to wait to catch the ferry, and then drive 30 miles to the closest town on the mainland. If there was a medical emergency, you'd hear a helicopter on its way. Life on the island was tough, simple, and good. The island is organized around the community center, the Gaelic football team, and tourism. The winters are cold, dark, and windy, but you had a choice of 3 pubs to visit. Our island is a small community, and that's what makes it home. My island is called Inisheer, and it is just 2.5 miles long. Everyone lives within walking distance of each other, so when we go on road trips to visit my grandparents, the 2-minute drive isn't too bad. One of my favorite community occasions happens every Christmas Day. Since there is no Thanksgiving, Christmas in Ireland is when the whole family gathers together for a big dinner. Everyone goes to their grandparents' house and cooks a big meal. Within the small population of the island, some people don't have any family or live alone. Perhaps they never got married or had kids. In our family, while dinner is cooking, most of us go over to these individuals to spread some love and laughter on what would be a lonely day. This tradition could just be to avoid cooking or helping out in the kitchen, but I don't think so. After dinner, we then take a plate of dinner and bring it to all the people who live alone. The meal and the company is all they need for a happy Christmas. At the beginning of my internship here, Dawn gave the family life staff a book to read together. It's entitled Turning to One Another, Simple Conversations to Restore Hope to the Future. And it was written by Margaret Wheatley. I'd never heard of Margaret Wheatley before, but the more I read her book, the more I grew to appreciate her writing and focus on developing community in a world that lacks it. The excerpt that I chose for our theme reading today is from this book and is somewhat of a reality check. Most people in our world do not have the same experience of living on an island like I did, or being part of a community like Southminster, or fellowshipping together like the early Christians in the book of Acts. In reality, most people today are in fact alone. As Archbishop Desmond Tutu describes it, this is a radical brokenness in all of existence. Therefore, it seems to me, our Christian calling to the world is to be a community where there is no community, to be those who reject isolation and embrace collegiality, to be those who connect with others rather than those who disconnect. My experiences at Southminster has shown me this, and how a progressive group of folks can be a community to and for the world. Herman Melville once said that we cannot live only for ourselves. 1,000 fibers connect us with our fellow men. Southminster community connects us to each other and forges community in a world where there is no community. Let me share with you some specific ways I have seen this happening at Southminster. This summer, when we went on our mission trip to Spokane, Dawn led us to the loving Church of Westminster. Each person in the congregation was supporting and loving of each other. And even when we walked in, it felt like home. Each person welcomed us into the church and their home. When we went to their service on Sunday, they had a prayer list. But the list was 2 whole pages long. It was full of prayers and good intentions for others. The list contained most of the 25 people in their congregation, but also all of their families, their friends, They're friends of friends. Their love and trust in each other led them to have a list that probably took the pastor 30 minutes to read through. Each person knew that the support from the church was all they needed. We went biking with the junior high youth in the San Juan Islands, and I learned how different people can be, but that we all still need encouragement. We biked up Mount Constitution, and the only way everyone made it up was through encouragement and support. Whether you made it up with the fast group or stayed behind with the slow group, we all celebrated our mutual accomplishment. No one was better than the other. We were a community. I specifically remember one of the youth who was at the back during the entire trip, but on the day she rode up Mount Constitution, she decided to push herself. We were a little over halfway, and she decided, I want to do this. She biked ahead of the last group and found herself biking by herself, never stopping to walk, knowing that she really wasn't alone, and discovering her potential. She shared at the campfire that evening, "It was so peaceful riding today. I decided to push myself, to ride at my own pace, to never walk, but keep going. It was so peaceful and my best experience of the trip." This past week, we put together the rummage sale. I was doubtful at first, as I had never been a part of something like this before. In the days leading up to the sale, I started to get even more worried. But in the end, it was amazing how it all came together. When the doors opened on the very first day, I think I was stunned. The sheer amount of people and stuff was overwhelming. But as I got to know people and how to work with everyone, I soon saw the beauty in a community coming together and how together you can make something amazing happen. Each volunteer showed me how supportive you are of each other in the Southminster community. I attended Warren Aney's memorial service this past week, and I learned a lot about him and Southminster as a community. Wow, the way you care for each other is amazing. I walked in expecting to know no one amongst his family, and ended up seeing so many familiar faces, filled with smiles and memories. I also attended a deacons meeting back in early June, and I marvel at how organized they are to ensure that everyone is welcome and will be cared for in their time of need. I'm not sure who organized the parade for Tom in Gala this week, but what a demonstration of community. I just wanted to say, welcome back, Tom. The first time I met the family life staff, I was amazed at how much work and love they put into their jobs. Each child is special and deserves the best. Then, when I met the whole family life committee, their care and support for others was infectious. I had no idea how much work was put into the background of everything. It is truly beautiful to witness. Critic Scott King once said, "The greatness of a community is most accurately measured by the compassionate actions of its members." In community, we are with one another, supporting each other. Community gives us a sense of identity, a sense of place, and a sense of belonging. It joins us together so that we can lift each other up. Community is essential to life. Here in Southminster, I've experienced the comfort and warmth of a community. George Bernard Shaw said, "I am of the opinion that my life belongs to the whole community, and as long as I live, it is my privilege to do for it whatever I can. I want to be thoroughly used up when I die, for the harder I work, the more I can live." In my life, I've gone from community to community. The love and support of fellowship and community is what gets me up every morning. Through the love and support I've received, I've learned to lift others up, to love everyone, no matter where they are in life, to ensure they have someone supporting and believing in them, because that's all we need. And although I am not perfect, well, none of us are, I just keep trying every single day. As my mother always says, practice, not perfection. Thank you, Southminster, for an incredible experience of community this summer, and for welcoming me into it. I'm forever grateful for all that I continue to learn about ministry and collaboration and mutual support from community to community. Blessings on the Southminster community. Blessings on each and every one of you. Amen.